For my interaction number 2, I brought Kalina to my sorority chapter. Before the event, I was honestly feeling a little nervous because it was a formal chapter meeting, which means we did a lot of ritual and singing. I didn't want Kalina to feel uncomfortable or nervous. I also didn't want her to think that being a part of sorority and the meetings that we had were weird and intimidating, because I remember when I was a freshman myself and went to my first formal chapter and thought it was such a strange experience. I was concerned that Kalina would have a negative outlook on sororities and Greek life because before the event, I asked her if she knew anything about Greek life, and when she was in China, if they had anything like this. Kalina said that they didn't have anything like this, and she knew about Greek life from the things that she had seen in movies. When talking about what she saw in the movies, I tried to tell her that it wasn't like that at all, and she would have a chance to see for herself. But then I realized, since I were doing a formal chapter, she may be a little bit intimidated by the singing and ritual. Once I brought Colleen to chapter, I could tell she felt a little uncomfortable and out of place because she didn't know anyone and obviously had never been inside of a sorority house or formal chapter before. When we walked in and started formal chapter, she became pretty quiet and was looking around at everyone, but I could tell she wanted to stare and get more of an understanding. But I could tell she was nervous. Kalina was very interested in what was happening, but almost suppressed her emotions because everyone at chapter was mellow and wasn't showing any emotions because it was a formal chapter and a formal event to us. We didn't really have emotion. During the event, I tried to explain to her what was happening, and I could feel myself anticipating what was coming next at chapter, and I would lean over and try to explain to her what was happening before it did and why we sang and said certain things at chapter. I got nervous because I wanted her to feel comfortable and not out of place, and I started to get even more nervous thinking that she wasn't enjoying the experience and was having a bad time. Also during the event, she said that in China they did not have anything like Greek life or sororities, but I wondered if they honestly had something similar, maybe like a girls' club or a club that she was a part of that was all female. During this event, I realized that the American culture and my culture were a lot different than Colleen's after she asked a question. She asked if we had chapter as a way to be forced to hang out with our friends because that's the way it was portrayed in movies. What I consider a cultural norm and normal for me, going to chapters on Sunday, is completely different from someone who grew up in China and has no idea. I grew up knowing what being in a sorority kind of was like, and I had an idea of what it would be like to go to school on a Big Ten campus. And I had an idea of what Greek life was like. But I realized that someone from another country who doesn't grow up with this common stereotype and idea of what a norm is on campus and a Big Ten campus and a sorority would have a completely different social norm on campus than I would. After taking Colleen to this event, it truly made me want to go to an event with her friends to see what her cultural norm was, because I'm just interested in how it compares to my sorority chapter.